Welcome to Attleboro Update. Attleboro was a hotbed of political activity last week as the nation came upon the 2014 elections. Across the nation, millions took to the polls to decide who should represent them in government on both the national and state levels. Here in Attleboro, residents had the opportunity to choose their state representatives for the next 2 years. Incumbent Paul Heroux faced off against opponent Bert Buckley in this year's race, and voters ultimately chose to re-elect Heroux. DoubleACS reporters were with both candidates as they waited for the final votes to come in. Here are a few words from Representative Heroux after it was announced that he was re-elected.
6A, Paul, 549, Bert, 365. 6B, Paul, 635, Bert, 416. Second landslide. These are the finals.
The last 3 months have been a very busy 3 months, and I'm very glad that we had the outcome that we had. The thing I attribute this to is a very aggressive campaign of knocking on doors all day, every day is what I basically did, weather permitting, and I came down with a couple of illnesses, so I had to take a week off, actually 2 weeks off, in total over the last 3 months. But it was a very aggressive campaign of knocking on doors. It goes back to just that aggressive campaign, and I was running on a very positive record of success. I had a lot of accomplishments that I was able to pull off as a freshman, and basically I tried to put those forward. I'm very thankful and appreciative that my opponent ran a clean campaign. I don't remember him ever saying anything bad about me, so that made it very, very easy for me to reciprocate and just basically stay on my own message, and he stayed on his message. So I thank him for that nice tone in the campaign. The reason I think I took every precinct by such a large margin is because I spent so much time in each precinct. It was a combination of, I would say 3 things. It was a combination of knocking on doors, talking about the work I've done, and talking about what I want to do, going forward. And so I had a very strong record of success, taking care of people in each precinct, and that's something that was my #1 goal that I wanted to try and convey to people, is that I'm here for you if you need me. That the idea is that if you come across people or they contact me and they need help with something, some constituent service work, if they have a problem with anything government related, my follow-up is I always make sure I would try the best I can to help them out. It doesn't matter what it is. Even if I can't resolve it, I still try, or at least I point them in the right direction. People talk, people then start talking to their family, so that contributed to it as well, and it was those, several things. Well, I have a lot of people to thank. I mean, there's too many people just to name right off the top of my head, but I will mention just a couple. My sister, first and foremost, she managed the volunteer effort and, the overall campaign effort. What I did pretty much every day was I just went out knocking on doors, and I stayed on message, and that's what my game plan was. But she was coordinating sign holdings. She was coordinating when people were going to come down and help us out for standouts. When they were going to knock on doors, when they were going to make phone calls. So she did an enormous amount of work. So also, it's worth noting that she, has a full-time job as a pharmacist and is raising a 5-year-old son, and she's, active in Studley School with her son's, PTO. So she's a pretty remarkable girl. That's my, sister, who's, about a year and a half younger than me. Well, going forward in the next 2 years, what I would like to do is continue trying to fight for education like I did in the past 2 years. And I had a very large success, and I want to try and do something more in line with getting education or schools ready for the 21st century. Continue trying to make sure we measure government programs. That's what I have a specialty at. It's my skill set, is measuring government programs and trying to work with state agencies. I also want to continue to make sure we are, like Attleboro is well represented in terms of constituent service work. When people call me up, I call them back. If they email me, I email them back. And I take care, I take care of the people of Attleboro the best I can. People call me about all different types of problems, and I don't always have the solution for them, but I try and flip over as many stones as I can, and I try and point them in the right direction. It's just, it's a really nice, it's just a really nice evening. I'd like to once again, thank my opponent for running a clean campaign. I do appreciate that. It could have gone either way, and I think he's a real asset to Attleboro. So I'm really pleased that he ran the campaign he did, and I'm happy with the outcome, and I'm sure he can hold his head high saying that he ran a clean campaign. So Bert, thank you for being a gentleman.